documentary, Sly Lives, a.k.a. The Burden of Black Genius. What inspired you to do this documentary? And you are so good at making these documentaries.
Thank you, thank you. This is a charmed, blessed life. When I was working on my very first film, Summer of Soul, which Sly and the Family Stone was a part of. Summer of Soul, of course, is a story about the Harlem Cultural Festival, the Black Woodstock that not many people knew about. When we were editing the footage, I told my producer, Joseph, and my editor, Josh, I said, man, Sly Stone doesn't know that in 10 days he's going to do Woodstock. And the most series of weird events will happen to him after Woodstock. And I said, man, someone should really do something about that. And literally, maybe like 9 hours later, Common calls me and says, hey, I hear you doing that Black Woodstock film. Would you like to do Sly Stone? And I was like, were you in the room with us? Like, how did you?
That's incredible.
Yeah, so I felt inspired to do it simply because Sly is such a game-changing legend. Pretty much everything that he's done, in the movie, we say that he created the alphabet that we're still writing from.
Yeah.
The idea of using technology. He's the first to use the drum machine. He's the first to take advantage of, multi-track recording, the things that when Stevie Wonder does everything by himself or Prince does everything by himself, Sly was that artist. His songwriting abilities, he was a DJ in the early 60s, so by the time he's a thing in 1969, he will have raised the counterculture of what we know as hippies. He's responsible for that. And around 75, 76, a series of unfortunate events turned into what is a tragedy story. And I really wanted to paint a human story because oftentimes people will ask me about why is this artist always late to shows? Why does this artist, doing unruly things? They're always asking me, what's wrong with da-da-da? Why can't they just, And really that story starts with Sly Stone. He's the first domino. So I wanted to really paint a story about the anxiety that artists go through when sort of put in the spotlight and they don't know what to do.
It's terrifying, I think. It's got to be terrifying to have to perform at that level in front of so many people. I think you would have to have performance anxiety.
But that's just a half of it. It's also especially when people ask, why do you call it the burden of black genius instead of burden of genius? Because oftentimes I feel like black people have to, when you do it for you, you're doing it for yourself, but you're also doing it for history.
Of
Yes.
course.
And you have to cross every T, dot every I, and oftentimes you feel guilty for, when good things happen to you, you feel guilty because it's only happening to you and you only. My friends aren't here, my family's not here with me, I'm alone. And it's a really lonely journey. And so this is what this movie explores and explains. I'm using Sly's life, but this will explain
a lot.
Everyone, from Nina Simone to Miss Lauryn Hill to, and everyone in between that we ever ask about.
You're such a thoughtful movie maker. I really
thank you.
I'm so glad you found your calling.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on our Love Show.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Show. Thank you.
Questlove Show.
Sly Lives, a.k.a. The Burden of Black Genius, streaming now on Hulu.